Shalom, Yashala, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh. I do so in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Yasharallah. Call Haloyim Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Harakah Kwadash, for blessing our elders with the spirit of truth, so that we may know. Shout out to the Akim and the Akwat that's keeping the faith and the works. Y'all keep at it. This your brother Abaya coming at you with more precepts. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 9, verse 1. It says, He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. The Most High gave us signs to watch for in order to gauge the times that we're living in. The mistake of the past were we would gauge the end times based off of certain events that were, not related, and oftentimes years apart. But today, everything is happening at the same time. It's like a pulse. It's like a heartbeat. And this thing is pumping faster and faster and faster, meaning the days are getting shorter and shorter, and more events are taking place more often than not at the same time, right? Main cause of that is, the Most High's people waking up to who we are. That's according to the prophecies in the book. When we wake up to who we are, the Most High moves on our behalf. 1 Kings chapter 8, verse 47 through 49. Right? But one of those signs that we look for is wars and rumors of wars, leading up to the final war, which is the War of Armageddon. Right? Or World War III. So I'm going to let this video play and I'll be back.
That didn't come true either. So in order to cover itself and whip up hysteria again, Israel is now saying 5 years tops is when Iran is going to have the nuclear weapons. This prediction didn't involve a big cartoon sketch of a bomb like Netanyahu had in 2012 when he claimed that Iran was 1 year away from getting a bomb.
This is a bomb. This is a fuse.
He then changed that again in 2015, and then changed his prediction again in 2018. Netanyahu is perhaps one of the worst predictors of a singular future event in modern history. These false predictions really do need to be focused in on and brought up, because now the United States and Israel are both discussing a military option when it comes to Iran if this round of talks falls through.
Today, the United States must destroy the same regime, because a nuclear-armed Saddam will place the security of our entire world at risk. And make no mistake about it, if and once Saddam has nuclear weapons, the terror network will have nuclear weapons.
This is the book of Joel, chapter 3, and verse 2. It says, I will also gather all nations, and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. This is all on our behalf. We are a special people, man. Right? Our blood holds the history of the earth. Right? But this devil has been placed in charge and has threw a virus in our brain which erased all memory of self. And the only thing that can bring that memory back is the creator, right, of the vessel, of us, which is Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. And the Most High said, because these nations did what they did to us, the Most High is going to gather them and he going to make war. Right? In particular, a certain nation is going to be in the forefront, or certain nations, rather, are going to be in the forefront of this war. Gog, Magog, the daughter of Babylon. Right? Let's go to the book of Revelation. Revelation chapter 20 and verse 7. It says, and when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. So this is speaking about that 1,000 years is speaking about the dark ages, where so-called black, so-called Hispanic, so-called Native Americans, and all our brethren around the world, all of so-called Negro descent, ruled Europe, which in essence meant we were ruling the world, right? Now that part of our history is also hidden and erased from our memory block, right? And has been replaced with the lies. So now when you think of knights and you think of kings and, King Arthur and, the Middle Ages, the Dark Ages, we think of Esau, the so-called white man. But the truth of the matter is we ruled, right? But nevertheless, Revelation chapter 20 and verse 8, it says, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. All right? Gog and Magog. Simple research. All you got to do is get a Bible dictionary, look up the definition of Magog. You'll find out the Tartars of Russia. All right? So this is speaking to Russia. The Most High is placing them in end time prophecy. Also in Ezekiel 38. Right? But I'll be back.
We're deeply concerned by evidence that Russia has made plans for significant aggressive moves against Ukraine. The plans include efforts to destabilize Ukraine from within, as well as large-scale military operations.
A nightmare scenario of military confrontation has returned to Europe. Moscow categorically will not accept the transformation of the countries neighboring Russia into a military foothold.
In a dialogue with the United States and its allies, we will insist on working out specific agreements that would exclude any further NATO moves eastward and the deployment of weapon systems that threaten us in close vicinity to Russian territory.
NATO's presence in this region is absolutely defensive. It's something that was triggered by the aggressive actions of Russia.
I want to make it clear, turning our neighboring countries into bridgeheads of confrontation with Russia and deploying NATO forces in direct proximity to areas of strategic importance for our security is categorically unacceptable.
I have stated several times now, there will be a high price to pay for Russia if they once again use force against the independent sovereign nation, Ukraine.
NATO refuses to constructively examine our proposals to de-escalate tensions and avoid dangerous incidents.
We are prepared to impose severe costs for further Russian aggression in Ukraine. NATO is prepared to reinforce its defenses on the eastern flank.
This is more than serious for us. In this situation, we are taking adequate military technical measures, but I repeat, we are not threatening anyone.
All right. So the Most High is gearing everything up. All of these things are happening at the same time, man. Famine of the word. Nation against nation. Kingdom against kingdom. Right? Plagues, pestilences, earthquakes in diverse places. The Most High people waking up every day. This word is true. And the average individual can't see it because they don't know to watch. Because the Most High didn't bless them with the eye to see and the ear to hear. So call Halom Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shabbat Harakak for blessing us with that, man. And Most High willing, He don't take that away from us. He blesses us to have His spirit of holiness until Shiloh come. Right? But meantime, between time, these nations got to get busy with one another, man. Right? Through warfare. Let's go to the book of Jeremiah. Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 58. says, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the broad walls of Babylon shall be utterly broken, and her high gates shall be burned with fire, and the people shall labor in vain, and the folk in the fire, and they shall be weary. The Most High is going to destroy Babylon, man. All right, verse 62. Then shalt thou say, O Yahweh, thou hast spoken against this place to cut it off, that none shall remain in it, neither man nor beast, but that it shall be desolate forever. The lake of fire, that's what this place is going to turn into. And there will be no people here, man. It's over with. Yahweh Ratazah, sooner than later. Right? Now, with this war, right, Babylon ain't going to be the only place that's going to be touched by this thing. Right? The other nations are going to feel this too. But the daughter of Babylon will be left desolate. That's the difference. Right? Let's see. Let's go to Revelation chapter 19. Revelation chapter 19 and verse 19 says, and I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worshipped his image. These both were cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone. Right? The ultimate or the apex of the battle is going to stop being between the nations, and it's going to turn towards Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, because that's when our salvation is going to come, man. When these nations finally, throw the gloves off and go to throwing blows for real, all hell is going to break loose on this earth, man. World War III is what we're talking about. All right? And the Most High said in the midst of this, they're going to try to fight him. And the end result of that is going to be the beast destroyed, the false prophet destroyed, right? And everybody that partook of the mark of the beast and worshipped his image, right, will be burned up. Now, the man's worship of the beast goes in 3 stages. It's worshiping the beast, worshiping the image of the beast, and taking the mark of the beast. If your mindset as we speak, if your mindset is, man, I hope this place get back to normal. If your mindset is, man, everybody ain't like that, it's some good, these people are over here and y'all tripping because y'all preaching hate. If your mindset is on some, well, I'm going to make plans for my children's children, you are already worshiping the beast. You are worshiping his image, and you are going to take the mark. Because you love your oppressor. You want your oppressor's system to get back strong, and you're looking forward to the future in this place. To take the mark of the beast means you won't be able to buy or sell, so that's something that has to do with commodities of the future. Right? And the Most High said you're going to get burned up, man. Let's go to the book of 2 Peter. Second Peter chapter 3 and verse 10 says, but the day of Yahweh will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat, and the earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. That's some major heat right there, man. All right. And that's speaking about the land. Let's go to the book of Zechariah, chapter 14, and verse 12. And this shall be the plague wherewith Yahweh will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. Right? Now, don't get it twisted just because it say Yahweh will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem, because Jerusalem fights against Jerusalem. Israel, who knows they Israel, right? When they go and try to speak the word, and your brothers be out there in the highways and hedges, right? What everybody else be doing that don't want to be bothered with it? They fight against the word being introduced into their spirit. They fight against the prophets for simply bringing out the word, right? So this for y'all too. Yahweh Ratazah ain't in that number. Yahweh Ratazah meaning Yahweh willing. I am not in that number to feel that fire. All right. Let's go back to 2 Peter. And I'll close it with this. 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 11. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? Right? Seeing as we are witnessing the prophecies come to pass, we are seeing the nations gather, and we seeing them gather for war. We seeing the nation that used to be the strongest nation on the earth being divided within division, meaning divided amongst, like, double divided. You understand what I'm saying? From the politics to the actual people. Once upon a time, it used to be really just the people. But then they introduced politics, and now we're going into politics, people, ideals, doctrine, so forth and so on. Right? We are seeing the plagues. We are seeing the pestilences. We are seeing the famines, right? Due to these shortages. We are seeing the famines of the word, because I can't just post any kind of video. If I post a certain video and say a certain thing, they're going to take that down, might even strike my whole channel, just disappear. You go on social media, say the wrong thing. All right, come on now. And all of these things are happening at the same time. What manner of person are we to be? All right? Verse 12 in 2 Peter chapter 3. Looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of Yahweh, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Thus said Yahweh. So, hey, let him that's righteous be righteous still. Hold it down, man, enduring to the end. I'll pray for you, and Yahweh Ratazah, you praying for me. And I'm only speaking to Yasharallah, Shah, Yasharallah. Israel or Israel. Everybody else, keep your prayers to yourself. The Most High ain't hearing you no way. That's script. He that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer shall be an abomination. All right. So I'm going to end it there. Most High willing, these precepts in this video were edifying. Call Haloyim Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Harakah Kodash. Shalom Yasha Allah.